Welcome to Keep Sweet, the Positive World podcast. I am your host, Joshua Gonzalez, and on today's episode, I have my wonderful husband, Matt Tolbert. Say hi, Matt.
Hey.
Hi, Matt.
Welcome, twin.
Matt, to the podcast. We are wearing the exact same shirt, basically, and we did not plan this. So you weren't on last week's podcast episode. How'd you feel about that?
Well, I did the intro and the outro.
I don't remember that, so I guess you did. Shows how professional I am on my own podcast. Well, I'm glad you were there then. I thought you weren't for some reason, and I was missing you. But whatever. I don't listen to them once they're out in the world. But thank you to all the listeners who do listen to them. Yay! And as always, you can rate, review, share this episode if you find that you have friends that may like it or something. I don't know. So on today's episode, I have some wonderful good news stories for you guys. We don't have an interview guest for today. So if you are missing some inspiring stories by someone who's not me or Matt or these stories that I'm about to tell you, then you can go back and listen to those episodes to get you some inspiring stories by some inspiring people. Who's been your favorite guest so far, Matt?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. Charles was very entertaining.
He really was. I really like Charles a lot too. That episode was fun. Okay, so for today's first good news story, because I have a few for you. This story is so crazy. Okay. So news anchor reporting on a stolen dog catches the dog napper live on air in that segment. Can you believe it?
Wow, that's some news. That's some viralness.
Isn't it some news? Some viral news? Okay, so this is from Boston 7 News reporter Juliana Mazza. She was about to go on air, and she saw this dude walking a dog nearby that apparently the dog was like a perfect description of the dog that had been taken, dog-napped. I almost said kidnapped, dog-napped. And so she was like, that looks suspiciously like the dog that was napped. Let me do some little investigative work and see what I can do. So while she was on air doing the segment, she her and her camera crew went over to him and she was like, "Oh, can I pet your dog? What kind of dog is it? What's the name on the collar? Where did you get this dog?" Asking him all these questions.
Where did you get this dog?
And so it was, very made clear he was fumbling with the answers. It was definitely the dog. And so the crew called the police while they kept him tied up and stuff. And then he was arrested. The dog was given back to the owner, and then security footage later from the napping corroborated the fact that it was that guy that stole the dog. Isn't that crazy? So the reporter, while reporting, saved the dog.
How weird. Well, I have so many questions. So
okay, sure. Number
1, how often does a news reporter report on a stolen dog or even a missing dog? That's weird.
I mean, that is a point of contention because this is in Boston and there are bigger things going on in Boston at the moment. I think there's some things with corrupt police chief or something like that that I actually heard on another podcast. So I don't know how many reporters report on stolen dogs.
Cool.
But
next question. So she's doing this story probably in the neighborhood where the dog was taken, because that's normally, they do the news story, in the area. So this dude steals the dog and then just walks it in the neighborhood where he stole it from. How stupid is that?
Oh yeah. Very stupid. Very stupid. Guys, if you're going to steal a dog, go to a different neighborhood with the dog.
Crazy. And then this
not that we're giving out tips to be criminal, but come on. That's crime 101.
About a year ago, I reported on a story in Boston of a Boston cop who had to sweet talk a peacock that had escaped from the zoo.
What do you mean you reported on?
Remember Matt in the Morning?
Oh. Oh, yes, I do remember. Careful, don't hit the table. Yes, I do remember Matt in the Morning. Vaguely, very, very vaguely. Okay, yes, I remember. You did report on what now?
So there was a peacock that escaped from the zoo, and a Boston cop used a peacock mating call to lure it back to the zoo or something like that.
Okay, that's fun. That's very fun.
So this just reminded me because it's an animal story in Boston.
So just you're just tying the two stories together for.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is story number 1. Congrats to and shout out to Juliana Maza. Is that her name? Yeah, Juliana Maza for catching this dog.
We need to get her on like her own some sort of show where she does things like this on a regular basis.
I don't think that would happen. Like she's like, you know what? Why not? Why
like
not?
a stolen dog show.
Okay, a stolen dog show. Got it. Yeah, I'm sure she would be down for that. Maybe like something scripted even. Put her on ABC. Okay, so not today's. So for the next good news story, this is so heartwarming and makes my heart explode. So after losing 2 babies of their own, a couple volunteers as unpaid foster parents to 100 infants over a 23-year period. Isn't that crazy? These parents fostered 100 infants over 23 years.
That is wild.
So they lost 2 newborns in the early 1980s, and their names are Mike and Deb Schuring, and they live in Iowa. So once they lost their infants, they decided that they will become foster parents because, they're like, you know what, let's take care of kids that are in need how we can. So they operated only by accepting some small stipends and some diaper donations, and they took care of 100 infants over the 23-year period. Isn't that crazy? They only did 1 child at a time, typically, it says. So I guess maybe there was a few times, maybe they had like twins or something. But yeah.
Did they just stop, or why is this story coming out now?
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's because they hit 100.
Oh,
they hit that milestone.
Yeah, big 100.
And for everyone wondering, because I know I was too, they did end up having 2 children of their own. So isn't that so nice? It's kind of like that thing of like they got blessed back.
They should have a reunion.
With all the kids?
Yeah.
That'd be so fun. I'm
just thinking of all these TV show ideas, like the Iowa 100 Babies reunion special.
Of course. I'm sure there is something with like the foster care system of like, maybe we don't know where they end up, or maybe they aren't allowed contact with them afterwards. But if those rules could be bent now that probably most of these are adults, that would be such a fun reunion. 100. That's a big room you got to get. There's a lot of cameras.
Not most of them will be adults, because if it's over 23 years and they were all infants, then only 5 of them will be adults.
We don't do math on this podcast, Matt Tolbert. That is rule number 1 of the podcast.
I do, and I just
Rule number 1 is we don't do math, and rule number 2 is we are positive.
That is what? Yeah, I'm positive 5.
Okay, we don't do math. So, good news story number 3 for all of you cool cats out there. Ethereum co-founder donates over $1 billion to India COVID Relief Fund in one of the largest individual philanthropic efforts ever.
Dollars?
It's $1 billion in. He donated the currency he held, but it is $1 billion worth.
Oh, okay.
Why is that? Like what?
Well, I'm like, you co-founded Ethereum. Wouldn't you donate Ethereum?
Well, yeah, but that's just because it's like where his asset is held. But like if it was easy for him to cash it out, I bet he would cash it out and donate the dollars directly. But I mean, I guess they can cash it out. Anyway, so Vitalik Buterin is his name. I don't know how to pronounce that or the origin of that name. Sounds like maybe Russian? Question mark? Anyway, he donated $1 billion in Ethereum and a little bit of the Shiba Inu meme coin called SHIB.
Cool.
So the donation went to the India COVID Relief Fund set up by Indian tech entrepreneur Sandeep Nawal. And look, Russian-Canadian Buterin became the youngest known crypto billionaire at the age of 27 earlier this month. So he was Russian. I got it right.
Wow. And is he still a billionaire after he donated $1 billion?
Oh, I'm sure. He only donated 500 Ethereum. So like, I'm sure that he has way more than that. But isn't that crazy? So this is interesting too to me because there's been such a like negative connotation when it comes to the crypto world, whether people are feeling like it's just the rich getting richer, it's really bad for the environment, and we are seeing steps being put in place and steps taken to make things better for the environment, to make things more accessible to everyone, so everyone has a chance to get into the crypto world and invest and grow their wealth or whatever they see fit. And now we're also seeing this 27-year-old who became a billionaire now making these large donations to better the world. So, I hope this is a beginning trend to the crypto world, and I hope that we get to see a lot more awesome, good, positive things, bettering the world things come out of the crypto universe,
For sure. I'm into it. I mean, I'm not into like crypto personally, but I support it.
I mean, we should be into crypto personally though.
I don't know.
And okay, wow. You don't like money. I see. You don't want to get wealthy so we can give money.
I didn't say that.
I don't know. You're not into crypto, so maybe that is what you're saying. And this is also just one last thing about this story. This is also just like peak what I want to do and like why I want to build wealth, because, we now do have our giving budget and we give to various things. And I just want to be able to give more all the time. I'm always like, why? Like, I want my giving budget to be more. I want to give to everything that I want to give to. And if I was a billionaire, this is the type of things I would do. Just give huge sums of money, really make a difference. And, just goals. And he's 27.
Crazy.
And those are today's good news stories. Which one was your favorite, Matt?
Well, I mean, I'm partial to the dog being reunited with its owner.
Why are you partial?
Because I did that story about the peacock.
Oh, okay. So moving on from our good news stories, I want to talk about the things going on in our lives right now that are bringing us the most joy, like this week or last week or in, whatever. For me, the thing that is currently bringing me the most joy is TikTok. Mm-hmm. I have finally gotten around and less busy enough on other things to focus on like figuring out TikTok and actually making content on TikTok and having fun with it and just being fun and giving out different content. I don't know what to call it. Like I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to say, but giving out different content. And it's been so fun and the responses have been great. And I've been starting to see like how the community of TikTok works and how awesome it is. And I just love it. I can spend hours scrolling on TikTok, watching everyone do things all day long. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's a great platform. What do you think about it?
I love it as well. I limit myself to, because once you open TikTok, you're on it for hours.
Of course.
I actually only go on like once every week or two.
Wow. Could not be me.
Because I don't have the self-control once I'm on it, but I can stay off of it.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, I love seeing everyone's creativity, and the fact that like anybody can be creative and have that creative outlet on TikTok is what really, really, really makes me love it. Before TikTok, on other social media platforms, what we first saw were like celebrities. And those people like got all the attention and we didn't really see anybody else's content. And then when like Instagram came out and other platforms came out, we started seeing people be able to become like the first influencers. And we saw that creativity and other people's contents. And now it's kind of like the most even playing field on TikTok where we can see anybody's things. And I love that so, so, so much because everyone has these brilliant gems of content that just like hits you in your soul or hits you in your funny bone or is like one of the best things I've ever seen on TikTok. And I cry about it for an hour. And I'm so glad that we're finally now getting to see everybody's best work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like Twitter is limited to people with a specific skill set. So is Instagram. And so TikTok has so many different kinds of content that depending on what you're into and how you like to create, you can create in many different formats. And
of course, going back to like previous episodes and how I talked about like always wanting to master a new skill or do something new. Like TikTok has been that thing for me for the past few weeks of like, oh, this is this new thing I don't know how to do yet. I don't know how this works yet. And it is that game of figuring it out and like learning how to do better at it, bettering myself, that self-improvement. That, I mean, all of those things are my biggest hobby. And so it's been so much fun doing that. So yeah, if you have a TikTok, let me know, shout out. Give me a DM so I can follow you on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok at Josh Wadham, just like on Instagram. And let's be TikTok mutuals. Matt has a TikTok. He actually has more followers than me.
I know, but I don't know.
What?
I had some like swift growth through like July of last year. And then I took a break. And now I just don't know what my vibe is on TikTok anymore.
Just change it and do whatever you want. That's
I know,
the beauty
but when
of TikTok.
I change it, no one likes. No, those don't get views.
No, but you have to change it, and then you have to like keep that change for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then you'll be great.
I know.
So just do it. It'll be fun. So Matt, what is bringing you joy this week?
So many things.
Oh wow, I was not expecting that.
Well, I mean, recently we've been going out and about a lot more in our city. And what I'm really liking about it, it's not as full as usual of people. And what it seems like is a bunch of locals like us who are just sort of like rediscovering the city and being tourists in our own city because no one's been out and about in a while. So like even if you go to Times Square, it feels like it's a bunch of locals just hanging out and celebrating the city, which is a really great feeling. And I'm loving that.
Yeah.
Number 2 is our access to the gym. Because we haven't had, dumbbells and weight benches and
treadmills,
all kinds of things. And so that's really turned my fitness around in the last couple of days, and I'm excited to keep that up. So that's been really fun.
Yay.
And then last, we've just been started to see friends again, which is exciting. And it's been fun. I think I've heard people tell stories of like, it's been awkward when they see friends for the first time and they're catching up, but I haven't really found it to be that way with our friends. So that's been great. And I'm looking forward to scheduling more things with more friends.
Yeah, me too. The friend thing is another huge thing. I am looking forward to scheduling everything with friends. I cannot wait. And yeah, that was one thing. The reacclimation to social settings is something that I was noticing too, and how I was worried about how it would be like awkward, or I would get like tired quicker, or like out of energy of like having to, hang out with people, or even going to a restaurant and like that whole dynamic and shit. Like I thought that would be weird, but actually it's been like nothing ever happened. So like I don't know if that's like the trauma speaking of like we just block out the whole year and pretend like nothing happened. Maybe that is. But yeah, I agree that it hasn't been as jarring of a reacclimation as I thought it would be.
Yeah, and yesterday when we were walking around Target, it was just the best feeling ever of just walking down literally every single aisle. I used to do that like every night just to see what's new.
Okay, hold on. You say you used to do that every night, but here we are on day 3 in a row of us probably going to Target right after we record this.
Yeah, I'm into it. Like, let's get back to it.
You guys, there is a Target like a block away from us, and apparently we go every day.
I don't always buy something.
Well, true.
I just like to see the thing.
What is your favorite thing to see at Target?
I like tampon packaging is really great.
Okay, you guys, you can't just say that without giving the story.
Okay, I will spot tampons on an end cap like frequently and not know what they are and just see like, wow, what is that? And I go walk up and I'm like, that looks really cool. And 1 out of 2 times it's tampons. And
so 50-50, it'll be tampons. And this has happened multiple times where he will be like, he'll just pick up a really cool looking package and be like, oh my God, look at this packaging. And then I'll be like, those are tampons.
Happens all the time. So I don't know if, I'm not their target market. So maybe the tampon packaging people need to get with it because they're maybe targeting the wrong people.
Or maybe it's just like that thing of like, their packaging is so good, it appeals to everyone, even people who aren't even in their target market. Like, congrats to those people who are making that packaging, because it's effective. It's eye-catching. It really is like, wow, this looks like nothing on the shelf. What is this? And then boom, it's tampons.
Yeah, and then I also love all of the Ollie products. Not sponsored, but could be.
Could be.
I like, they just have so many supplements. I used to be into, what was that water?
Neuro water.
Also
not sponsored, but could be.
I don't know if they still exist.
Oh.
But they had like happy and sleep and energy and different things. And honestly, I could not care 2 cents. Is that a phrase?
Sure.
If
it is now.
If it works, if it's real, if there's anything in it, but it tastes good. And if I can mentally tell myself that I'm getting happier or sleepier or more energetic, I'm here for it. And I don't care if you're lying to me. It's working because it's called neuro something or other. I mean, not neuro water, but like...
yeah, it's like psychosomatic.
Yeah. And so I think that's probably what Ollie products are as well, in a way. Although they, do have some ingredients. We have the sleep gummies, which I find extremely effective. But I noticed they have so many other products that I'm excited to try. And I'll spend whatever. Don't care if they're lying. If it works, it works. Okay.
You're going to be like an old man next week, where every day you have your little pill thing, but it's just filled with Ollie gummies, and you have to take like 6 a day.
They're just fun names too. And then the ones, of course, these don't apply to me, but they're in like the tampon category. But there's like Happy Hoo Ha and Teenage Girl, and I'm like, why are these the ones that I'm like, how fun?
The teen girl packaging is really fun than the other packaging.
Totally.
I think it has like multiple colors, so like that makes it stand out. But yeah, again, I guess packaging works on you.
Yeah. I'm really a sucker for good packaging.
They also taste good too. I love the way the sleep ones taste. I could just like eat the, again, not sponsored, but could be. So shout out to Ollie. If you haven't tried Ollie gummies and you need a sleep aid sometimes, every now and then, not every night, to help you go to sleep, the melatonin sleep gummies are great.
Consult a doctor. Yes. This is not a medical advice that is legit at all. So don't listen to me at all. But if you need it, eat them. But also don't listen to me. You didn't hear from me. All right. I love how we don't have lawyers, never have, and just know what to say.
Do we know what to say? Does that cover me from liability? I don't know. We will find out, I guess. So that is today's episode. Thank you all for listening.
Just like off the air. Cut off.
Cut it off. Thank you guys so much for listening to this fun. We just wanted to drop in, give you your boom dose of positivity for the week to get you through to the next week, when we will meet again, have some more positivity for you. Be sure to rate, review, share the podcast to all abounds so that we can get more listeners and grow our positive community. Email me at keepsweetpodcast@gmail.com. You can send in voice memos that we can play on air. You can send in guest recommendations. You can send in positive news stories recommendations. I have gotten a few of those and a guest recommendation. So thank you guys so much for that. Maybe they will be on the show soon. All right.
Pause.
What?
Have you used any stories from people?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I would credit them. Okay. And that is the episode. Have a great weekend, everybody. And as always, keep sweet.